guys, welcome back to All the Buzz. It's your girl, Sydney Sadick, and I am recording a solo episode today, focusing on love and entrepreneurship and why the two can actually work. So I wanted to start off by talking about how I met my now husband. I matched with Nick on Bumble back in 2021. I had not gone on a date in nearly 2 years. It was the height of the pandemic, and I was really hesitant to date. I feel like New York men especially have proven to be, in a lot of ways, sorry guys. And I was not going to get sick over a man. I just wasn't. But when I matched with my husband, now my husband, I don't know, something felt like very different. I saw his picture and I saw that he was an Aquarius and I'm an Aquarius, and he had something written like painfully curious brain. And I just loved the way that he wrote. He didn't write too much, but as he now tells me, words matter. And all the words that he chose to use on his profile really resonated with me. We matched. Back in those days on Bumble, the girl had to initiate the conversation, which I did. And I swear to you, it was like 10 minutes were about to expire and I hadn't seen a message from him. And then a few minutes later, there was my message from Nick being like, wow, the time pressure on here. I'm so sorry. Whatever. And we started bantering back and forth for like hours. And I'm a chatty Cathy and I love communicating. So, chatting wasn't so foreign to me, but as he says, and I will have him on this podcast so he can tell the story from his words, but it was very unusual for him. And there was definitely a spark. We eventually met and we went on our first date. He wanted to take me for drinks and I wanted to go out for a walk in Central Park because I did not want to be indoors with some guy who was probably making out with a lot of other women. Who knows what goes on in New York? And he met me and we were sitting on the bench and I was cold. I was not flirty. I sat literally 6 feet away from him on this bench. Halfway through our conversation in the first 10 minutes, I was like, I'm a little uncomfortable. Do you mind putting your mask on? We were outdoors. But this is when we had no idea how COVID spread. So he looked at me like I was a little cuckoo, but as the gentleman that he is, he put the mask on and our conversation continued. And I, again, was not giving him much. I feel like I was at a place where I just had dated a lot and kind of heard all the BS lines. And I was just so over it. I was in a place where I did not need a man to make me happy. But if I met someone who happened to add value to my life, then it would just be the cherry on top of the cake. So as he would say, he did not know how the date was going. And again, when he's on this podcast, I'll talk about what this first date was like because it was interesting, and I think even more interesting for him. To continue the story, we end up walking out of the park, and I kind of held his hand. I kind of tapped him I'm tapping this plant over here. And I could tell he was shocked that I touched him because I wouldn't even get near him outdoors, close, without a mask on. But we walked, back to my apartment together, and he texted me, I swear to you, 2 seconds after I got upstairs. And so we had a real bond very quickly. I felt something with him after that first date. I was still living in the Hamptons during the height of the pandemic. He was here in New York building his venture capital fund. And you just know when timing doesn't feel right. That's how it felt with him. It felt like I kind of met someone who I could see myself being crazy about, but how is this going to work? The city shut down. I'm afraid of COVID. He's clearly not. I'm living with my mother in the Hamptons. I don't want to get her sick. I just felt like this was a moment to get to know somebody and to get to know somebody in a platonic way, despite clearly having this serious attraction for him, which I did. I continued to see this man. And we continued to take walks in the park on and off for a couple of months. And then we kind of hit a lull. We had a magical, first kiss, but I was not interested in, going to somebody's home at this point and seriously dating. I just it didn't feel right when I was so worried about my mom. Those crazy times with COVID. And so Nick and I always kept in touch for the months after the spring, but it was the summer. I was busy and I kind of did my own thing, as did he. Like, I was talking to other guys transparently. I was seeing, this like Hollywood guy in LA, and I was just, trying to like move out of my mom's house and get my first apartment and launch Spotlight. Like, we were just not in the place to like date, but we liked each other. So we kind of kept in touch, and we would like have dinner once in a while. But again, like, nothing happened. Like, we were two people who were attracted to each other who were choosing not to act on it, which is so hard. It was so hard. Like, I remember like texting this man and like just wanting to cuddle and watch a movie on the couch and feeling like I couldn't go do that. Like, this is what happened in our relationship. And he was so busy, as I said, building his company. Like, time was not on our side in that moment. I see him in September of 2021 last. We have a really fun time together. And I kind of like wrapped my head around the idea of, okay, maybe like I could actually, take the next step with this guy and like have fun and go back to his apartment. Like, nothing serious, but like whatever. And he was like, I can't do that with you. I'm like, what do you mean you can't do that with me? Like, what? Like, we've had this like tension for months. Like, why aren't we doing anything? Like, I'm ready. He's like, he said something along the lines of, and obviously not verbatim, but like, I can't take that step with you until like I can seriously date you. And I was like, are you shitting me? Like, not to be like, I don't know if I can say this word on here, but it's like, are you like just another who's lying to me and who's dating all these other women and whatever? And he was like, no, like, I'm telling you, like, I'm really not. It's not about another girl. Like, it's about you. And like, I can't do this to you right now. Like, when I'm ready to seriously date you, like, I'm going to reach out to you. And if you're available, amazing. And if not, then like, we weren't meant to be. I was like, this guy's direct. We're sitting outside Cafe Clooney in the West Village having this conversation. And I'm just looking at this man like, really? But he was honest. The entire time he was honest. I'm in LA, as I'm saying, dating this other guy. It did not work out. He was such a jerk. And I'm like, I'm so over dating again. Like, I'm just over it. I'm so happy in other parts of my life. I'm wanting to launch Spotlight. So I go to Palm Beach because Omicron is exploding. And I head there with my mom, and we have a home there. And we were in Palm Beach December, January, February, most of March. And it was on New Year's Eve around where I posted an Insta story of the Cheesecake Factory, low-key my favorite place, or it was my favorite place, and it's kind of gotten a little disgusting lately. I posted it, and Nick responded to my story. And it was the first time I had heard from him since that September date. And he was like, when are you coming home? Back to New York. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm happy here. Like, I am happy in the sun. I'm happy launching my magazine. Like, I'm good. And I was not about to change my life for somebody who I didn't even know yet, like, what this could be. He had mentioned maybe coming and visiting me or meeting in Miami. And I was like, I don't think that's going to work. Like, again, with my mom, protecting her, the whole thing, whatever. Finally, we communicated up until I got home. I arrived back in New York March 8th or 15th. He's really good at the dates. I'm not as good around then. And we went on our first real dinner date after a year of knowing each other at the Tribeca Grill. And I remember him sitting there, kind of leaning back. He looked tired. And I walked in and our eyes met, and he like jumped up, and I could see it was like excited to see me. And he told me right after, like, when I saw you walk in that door, like, it was still there. I was hopeful that it would be, but it really was. And I was like, yeah, like, I felt that way too. We started dating right then and there. We were boyfriend and girlfriend that weekend. We dated for weeks again still before like being intimate. It's a real love story. I fell in love with this man quickly. He told me he loved me when I was on the verge of a severe stomach issue at a wedding of his friends. And I will never forget every moment of our relationship because everything with him was really spearheaded by him. And I tell all my girlfriends that, like, as a woman, it's amazing to be confident. I am, and to like, talk about the things that you want. But like, I really believe that when a man wants you, he's going to make it clear and there's going to be no confusion, and like he's going to do the things. I'll never forget, after 2 weeks he invited me to Boston for the weekend. I was like, are you sure you want to do that? Like, do you realize that you just invited me to Boston with you for the weekend? Like, you don't really do that. And he's like, of course I'm serious, like come. And like, he was the man I always wanted someone to be from the moment we started dating officially. And so we moved in with each other pretty quickly. So we started dating in March. By August, I moved in with him into his apartment after my mother, amazing woman, decorated this incredible little bachelorette pad for me. She was like, what do you mean you're breaking your lease? I'm like, I'm breaking my lease. Like, I'm never here. I'm always with him. Like, this is a waste of money. She's like, well, if that's what you want to do. And she really didn't think I actually wanted to do that. And I'd never introduced my family to a guy seriously before. So she's like, Sydney's just probably hooking up with this guy, like whatever. No. She gives up her beautiful apartment and moves down to the financial district, which is a neighborhood that I would have never thought I would ever live in my life, on the 25th floor. And I'm deathly afraid of elevators. Deathly. For this man. We get engaged that December, and we had a year and a half-ish engagement, and we just got married this past March, and it was the most magical weekend of my life. It was. I want to add that leading up to my wedding, I have gone through some weird things with my health. I wouldn't say I've been in pain for months, but I've been in discomfort for months. And I was really stressed. I got mono in the beginning of, the fall of 2023. I was super sick. Got this very strong neck massage, as I tend to do. And my ears, like that night, started going like crazy, like a pulsing, like a tapping. That's the whole thing that went down with that is another episode. But like, I've had this mystery thing going on in my body, and it was still going on right before my wedding. And like, I had never felt so depressed, scared, frustrated. I was not in a good spot from November, December, January, February, March. And still, quite honestly, as we're recording this podcast, I'm not in a perfect space. But I now know what's going on with my body, and I'm healing. So there's some closure with that. I was really afraid with the wedding. I was like, how am I going to get through this? And somehow it was like somebody, my grandparents, whoever the hell is up in the sky, was watching over me. I made it through my wedding, not in pain and not uncomfortable, and then through my honeymoon. But my wedding was amazing. We got married in Palm Beach. We had an amazing welcome party and rehearsal dinner that was more intimate. And then the wedding, we invited 160 people. Well, we invited 200 people, and it got down to 160. And the wedding was amazing. And, you know, I think a lot of women especially fear that if they are dating, if they get engaged, they get married, they're planning a wedding, like all of that is going to interrupt with their career. But I swear that ever since Nick was in my life, like, I've never been more laser focused, despite not feeling well for months. We got to erase the last few months because I was not okay. But he really, I don't know, just like makes me so excited to get up and to do what I love. He's an entrepreneur. He runs his own venture capital firm in the AI space and was in AI before everyone else realized that AI was cool. And we're both just really hungry, motivated people. We both run our own businesses, and like, even with him, like, I feel like we've both gotten more successful as we've been together because we get it. We inspire each other. We just know like how we work, and we both understand that if the other one isn't doing like the crux of the stuff, like, things aren't going to get done. We are our business. More me than him. He has a team. We're the face of our business. So I just love that part of our relationship, that we share that entrepreneurial bond together. And the wedding, like I said, in Palm Beach, I had 3 outfit changes my wedding day. I wore a Monique Lillier wedding gown. It was the only wedding dress that I tried, and I fell in love with it the moment that I put it on my body. And then Madeline Gardner, who was the former creative director of More Lee for like 30 years, custom made me my reception dress in a gold and white fabric that I picked out from Italy in the silhouette that I designed with her. And it was so beautiful, and I just loved dancing the night away with it. And then my after party dress was just a beautiful, embellished, colorful dress that I got off the rack from Patbo and David Webb, the jeweler, dressed me in their diamonds the entire weekend. And I don't know if you know this, but my engagement ring and wedding ring is from De Beers, and so is Nick. And we love our De Beers family, and they were so good to us throughout our entire wedding ring process, which is another story. But I've got to leave some room for like when Nick comes on this podcast, because he is an amazing storyteller. It makes me look like I shouldn't have my job. Like, he's amazing. And so the wedding was just spectacular. I keep using these words. And the honeymoon in St. Bart, Nick and I both have never been to St. Bart before. And we fell in love with it. The people, the food, the culture, our hotel, the beach. I mean, I was in no pain that entire week. And then I come back to New York and I'm like miserable. It was just amazing for us to just unplug, to sort of be off our phones, to just enjoy. As people who just feel the need to work all the time, our honeymoon was the first time that he and I both consecutively took like a full 9 days off of not working. It was probably my first real vacation in my entire career. And I think he would say the same beyond a long weekend. Because like when I'm in the Hamptons and Palm Beach and stuff, I'm always working. So those places aren't relaxing for me at this point. Yeah, I just think, a lot of people now ask me my advice for dating. And I think the first thing that you have to remember is that whatever is meant to be will be. And everybody's journey and everybody's path is different. Life gets so lifey. I would have never expected that I would have like not felt well for the last 6 months straight and just dealing with so much stuff. And like this guy is taking care of me and being my support system. And I mean, you don't know what life brings. And then with Spotlight, like my husband comes to all of our events and is so supportive. And like I go to whatever he has and I'm allowed to go to. And like we just have this nice thing. I also think that relationships are all about partnerships and compromise. Compromise is like a key word. My husband never went to the Hamptons before me, never really liked it. He's got to go to the Hamptons now every weekend. I used to go to Palm Beach for 3 weeks during Christmas and stay out in the Hamptons all summers. I don't do that. I come home because this is where my husband works in the city, and I go to Boston with him for all of his holidays. Like this is just what we do and what you do. And everything that we do is together. It's about a partnership. It's about supporting each other. And I think it's really important for everyone to, understand and know that when they're going through, dating. Like you're not dating necessarily to just have a good time and to have a hookup. Like if you're dating to find your husband or your wife or whoever, it's a whole different level. I also want to say, because I've had a couple of girlfriends who are recently single and I've been looking at their dating app profiles and they're like, why am I not getting asked out on dates? Or why, is it not going anywhere? And you can't control other people, but you can control yourself. And I do think that your dating app profile is truly a visual representation of who you are as someone on the market. So if you have photos of your boobs hanging out or your ass hanging out, or lots of crop tops, or maybe you're drinking, or maybe you're, with a bunch of girlfriends. Like, what does that say about you, right? That you're probably a real good time, but are you a long time? So I suggest like having photos of you that show who you are as a little bit more of, maybe your serious self, right? So wearing covered up clothing, maybe not posting that bikini pic, showing some activities that you enjoy, like tennis, hobbies. And I also think it's really important to show photos from your career if your career is important to you. Like, I showed photos back on Bumble, like me on TV, like not to show off, but just like, this is my world. Like, this is who I am. And if someone is going to be your match, they're going to love and accept you for all the different parts of you, and not just the fact that you're a hot and sexy woman or man, whoever's listening. And I really believe that. So rethink your dating app profiles, write a little bit more, just be you, and don't get caught up on age. I never really thought that I would be married by the time I was 30. Like I did not think of age like that. It more just happened. So don't rush. I am the product of divorced parents. You do not want to go through that. You do not. So I also think that if you are single right now, it's okay. If you've been single for a few years, it's okay. I went through years of nobody, but then I found my husband. So I think it's better to not have as many boyfriends and to really work on yourself and the things that you love and enjoy. And then your person is going to come when you are least thinking about it. I also think what's really key about my relationship with Nick is that I never felt like I had to mask who I am. I am really silly underneath it all. Like, I make little Miss Piggy noises and I impersonate random characters, and, you know, I'm a little nerdy and I like playing Sorry and Scrabble, and I don't drink. Like, there's a lot of me that's like, yes, like in front of the camera and whatever, strong, but I'm really sensitive and I'm really silly and a little quirky. And he like made me feel safe enough to just show all of that from day one. Like, there was never anything that I felt like I had to hide. And I also want to say that I think it helps that if you relate to someone on a deep level, like Nick and I were both raised by single moms. We both have half siblings. That made me feel very safe. So finding points of safety when you're dating somebody and things that you relate on, I think is really key, despite the fact that you might not come from the same world. Like, I came from privilege. My husband did not. I came from New York City. He came from a small town in Massachusetts. But like, we have the same values at the end of the day and the same ideas of what we want out of life. And that's what works. We're opposites that attract, but are the same in the ways that matter. So be open. That is all the buzz about me and Nick. I'm going to bring him here on this podcast because not just about us, but he's so smart and he has literally built his business from nothing. And I'm just so proud of him. I really am. I don't want to cry because Natalie's not here to do my makeup touch up. She's my makeup artist. So I'm going to stop. But that's all about us for now. Before I get all emotional, if you have any questions or ideas for who we should feature on the podcast and more solo episodes, make sure to comment, to DM me on Instagram or on Spotlight's Instagram. We are here to listen to all of your ideas, and we are so excited and happy that you come back and listen to us.